Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to Tony the Technician channel, and today we're going to be going back into the Harbor Freight's new tools section and going over a few items. So I did this video I think last time about 2 weeks ago. We're doing them a little bit more often, but not every week because they don't add things quite as much. We wouldn't have really anything to go over. So I try and space them out a little bit. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys do, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of any of your thoughts on any of these things, or possibly if you've used any of them. And then, as always, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. So the first item up is the CONT 60-inch 3-drawer hardwood workbench for $180. So as soon as I saw this, I knew I had seen it before. I'm like, Harbor Freight already has that. Well, they do. It's slightly different and isn't rated for quite as much weight, but it's basically the exact same thing. So I'll show that to you here in just 1 second. So it is the Windsor design 60-inch, same as the Yukon, except the Yukon, this is the new one right here, is a 3-drawer, where the Windsor design is the 4-drawer. And then I don't know if they just use different hardware or thicker wood, but the Windsor here is rated for a 250-pound capacity, and the Yukon, the new version, is rated at 600 pounds. So it's rated for quite a bit more. But as far as anything else, besides possibly the thickness of the wood and the hardware used, the design and everything is exactly the same, except Yukon has 3 drawers, 1 larger bottom drawer, where the Windsor has 4 of the same size drawers. Other than that, the design's the same, the idea is the same, the vise is the same, the pegs on the top and everything are the same. They've basically just beefed this thing up. The Yukon is basically the Windsor design on steroids with a slightly different drawer layout. That's basically it. And the Windsor one that they've had for quite a while is $150, where the new Yukon one is $180. So not a huge difference in price. $30 more, and it can support 350 more pounds. So I would say if you're looking for a workbench like this, the Yukon is probably the better route to go, just because it's only $30 more. I wouldn't find myself using anything quite like this. At least, I mean, you could use it for just a standard workbench, but like this is more geared towards those that would actually use like that wood side vise and the pegboard slots and everything, or not the pegboard, the peg slots and stuff for woodworking and things like that, where I myself, I don't do a whole lot of that, at least not in that sense. So that's not really my style of workbench, but I think for $180, that's a pretty good deal. Next up, something I wasn't expecting to see, a Schneider 80-watt soldering station. Now these soldering stations can be very nice. So I have a butane soldering gun, I've had a couple Weller soldering guns or soldering irons, and the Weller one was, it's probably 15 years old. I had it for probably 7 years. The big bulky guy worked really well, but it is bulky, heavy, awkward to use in tight situations when doing wiring. And then I have a little butane soldering iron that works fantastic, but if you do anything around like 10 gauge wiring, 12 to 10 gauge, you're really pushing its limits if you're trying to solder 2 wires together. Now it'll do fine on like doing end connections, or if you're soldering it to a board or something like that. But when you get to combining 2 10 gauge or 2 12 gauge wiring, that's really pushing its limit as far as its heat. Now this is really nice because it's temperature controlled, where yeah, my butane one has 4 different levels, but you're not guaranteed a temperature range really on there. And this you can be a lot more precise with. So here you have your station, you have your holder for your soldering iron, you have your station that actually has controlled temperatures. I don't know if they're preset already or if you can determine the 3 preset temperatures. So in this image you can see number 1 is set for 200, number 2 is 300, and number 3 is 400. And then I'm not sure. I haven't used this one, but I'm pretty sure the up and down arrows are maybe to possibly adjust in between those preset numbers, or maybe to adjust those presets. I'm not exactly sure, but it is really nice having those presets if you're going from soldering an 18 gauge wire to a 12 gauge wire, and things like that. Or if you're soldering two wires together and then going to soldering a wire to a circuit board or anything like that that requires different temperatures, it's better to do it at those different temperatures because you get a better solder and everything like that. So these can be very handy. And I think at $130, that's really not bad. I think I paid $100 just for my butane soldering iron. It came with a lot of stuff, but I think for what's included here, it's a pretty good deal. Now, granted, I haven't used a system like this a whole lot, so I don't know what some of the others possibly run, but I think for $130, if you do a decent amount of soldering, this is probably a good unit to go with, but only time will tell. Once again, I haven't done any research into some of the other ones set up like this soldering station. And then keep in mind they also have a butane soldering one here for $24 and a $5 one here. This is going to be on a whole nother level. This is, if you do soldering once a year, once every 2 years, every once in a great while. But if you do a decent amount, this could be a good unit. So if you guys have used this or one like it, please share your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear about it. And then you got a couple more Hallmaster things. In the last video, we talked about a couple of the Hallmaster things that they released, basically some locking mechanisms and things like that. Alright, and then you just have a 10-inch professional continuous rim diamond blade cutting wheel here. I personally prefer to go more name brand, more higher end when it comes to cutting discs and wire wheels and things like that. Way back in the day at Harbor Freight, I haven't had a good experience with like the sandpapers, the wire wheels especially. I had a couple of those fly apart on a drill. So when it comes to high rate of speed moving objects like cutting wheels, grinding wheels, blades, wire wheels, sandpaper, anything like that, I try to go higher end. Now if you're a person that may use this blade 5 times in your entire life, yeah, I can understand going this route. But if you use them fairly often, I stay away from them. That's just my personal preference. I know some people will think about it like, oh, if I buy them from here, it's $3 a blade versus $15 a blade. If I mow through them, what of it? I can get a lot more for a lot less. But my thought process is the better blades are more reliable and less likely to break apart and go through my face. But that's just my thought process behind it. Or let me know your guys' thoughts on it. So here we have the Bauer 15 amp 14-inch portable concrete saw. Once again, this is probably going to be for those DIYers that maybe are just doing some small landscaping around the house. Maybe I wouldn't think this is going to be great for those in the professional field that are using these things weekly. I don't know how long it would hold up, but who knows? Only time will tell. But I would think that those professionals are probably getting something a little bit more reliable, a little bit something that's been around a little bit longer. But for $260, it's not a bad price for a concrete saw, a portable concrete saw. It does have the built-in water adapter that works with your standard hose to suppress the dust and everything like that. It's a basic design. I'm not sure if it actually comes with the blade. Blade sold separately. So the blade is not included in this. So just keep that in mind. If you guys use a portable concrete saw, let me know, is this something that you would consider, or is that something that you're looking for high end? Obviously that depends on how much work you do. Then they have the new Icon 43-inch professional creeper. This I would actually consider purchasing. It looks like it's got some off-road tires on it. It doesn't look like I'd be fighting. I have the Harbor Freight creeper. Quality, good. Casters, can't stand them. Every time I try and roll left, I go straight. Every time I try and go right, I go the opposite direction. I'm sitting there constantly fighting myself, and that happens with a lot of creepers, but it gets extremely annoying. I just end up laying on my back, don't use a creeper, and then I get mad when I gotta climb in and out from underneath the car, and I'm snaking along down there. But this might not be the lowest profile creeper, but it definitely looks like it would roll a lot easier. You wouldn't get caught on every single little rock or pebble. So it looks like it's got some pretty beefy casters on it. It looks like it's got a pretty decent cushion on it as well, not just for your head but your back. It looks like it can support a decent amount. So there are just some of the images. And $130, and it can support up to a 400-pound capacity, so that's pretty good. Looking at some of their others, they have the Daytona 350-pound one right here for $74, $40 for the one that I have, $45 for the metal frame one, and then they also have the 37-inch 400-pound capacity Icon one for $90. So this one's going to be a little bit bigger and support the same amount of weight as the other Icon one. So this one's not going to have any of the storage trays or anything like that, but it does seem to be maybe built better for those driveways and rough situations. So let me know. Then they also have a heavy-duty tile cutter for $40. So, you know, maybe if you're maybe you're the type of person that does a lot of home improvements yourself, this portable concrete saw and this heavy duty tile cutter may be great products to save yourself some money and do those projects yourself and save your money in that sense as well. But I'm not sure how these would hold up to daily or weekly use. You know, just like before with a lot of these new tools, only time will tell. And that also depends on the person themselves, you know, how rough they are with the tools, the environment they're working in, things like that. Ha! They got their heavy-duty tile cutter on top of their new Yukon Workbench. Clever. Very clever. Then we got a Hallmaster, another product. This is 5,400-pound ratcheting load binder, Bauer mixing paddle, and then some more sandpaper. They just keep adding these. And then you got the job site scissors. You got both the offset and the straight. I think last time we did the Harbor Freight video, there was just one of them. So now they have both the offset and the straight for $9 and $10. So that stuff's all priced really reasonably. But that's really it as far as the items for this video. We went over the Viking portable jump pack last time and all these new Hallmaster products. So that's where we'll end it off. Let me know your guys' thoughts on these products, if you would consider any of them, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts, and as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. See you guys next time.